What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night. It's Thursday, so we're here to talk about those top matchups, and it's a pretty special one because, well, we're going to the Super Bowl. I cannot stress that enough. Pretty damn excited about it. Just a few more sleeps here, and that game will be on our way. I'm losing my mind, trying to stay sane, but trying to provide you guys with as much content as I possibly can. And we're going to be jam-packed here. Tonight, we've got these top matchups coming, so I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. I will get that injury report out to you whenever both teams drop those. Then I will be live with my guys over at Flipping the Birds at 8 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, I will have the game status report for you. Then I will have a special guest, Gabe Wrangle from the Bro Barn, on at 7. Then we will have Fan Friday around 9 o'clock. Saturday, going to be jam-packed with the practice squad elevations, depth charts, the updated game status report, everything you'd ever need to know about the game. And then Saturday night, we're going to have a little 'twas the night before the Super Bowl, and we're going to celebrate together. So hope you will continue tuning in. But tonight we are here, and we are talking about these top matchups for this Super Bowl matchup between the Eagles and the Chiefs. And boy, oh boy, is it going to be a barn burner. I cannot wait for this game. You know, my confidence level is through the roof this season. And right now, at an all-time high, I truly feel this team will win by double digits. And I know I sound crazy saying it, but I don't give a damn. Let's go. Yo, and this is what I'm talking about right here. My man, need a little energy? Let's go. Time to rock and roll, baby. It is exactly what I needed. So we're here. We're going to break this thing down a little bit earlier than usual on these Thursdays, but I need that energy too. Going to be going on again this week with my guys over at Flip of the Bird. So hope to see you there, Drew, at 8 o'clock. But it's going to be a busy next couple of days. I'm excited you're going to be able to tune in tomorrow for one of my interviews. Going to have Gabe on, and that is it's going to be a damn good one. So looking forward to that. But let's jump right into this. And a big thank you to everyone else who's tuning in. Whether you comment, you like, you retweet, whatever you're doing to support this channel, I truly can't thank you enough. But I'd love to hear what's on your mind about this game. But before I get in those top matchups, I will provide you with the regular and postseason stats along with the depth chart so you can get a look at what these teams look like for this game. So we're going to start it off with those stats. How did these teams do in the regular and postseason? How do they match up? And we'll take a little gander before we look at those top matchups. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Appreciate your support, and I can't wait for that interview. So let's rock and roll here. Start off with these stats. And the Eagles, we all know how well they did. Top 3 in offense and defense. And you look at that, 3rd in points and yards. On defense, 8th in points, 2nd in total yardage, but 1st against the pass, whether it's yards per game attempt, yards per completion, 1st in sacks. We know what this defense is made of and this offense. We can match up against anyone on both sides. That's where my confidence comes from. Talked about it before the Giants game, before we steamrolled them 38-7. Embarrassing. Then we went on to destroy the 49ers, who apparently if we would have gave them 18 quarterbacks, they would have somehow learned how to block this Eagles pass rush. Comical. Couldn't even get 85 rushing or passing yards. That is truly embarrassing. But our defense got 3 sacks, 3 turnovers. Looking for this defense to really step it up in this game. Then you see the Chiefs this season, the number 1 offense in points and yards. You know they use their running backs, more in the pass game than they do running the ball. So 20th in rushing, but 1st in passing. We know who Patrick Mahomes is. 3rd in giving up sacks. Middle of the pack turning the ball over there. So like to see that. Let's get some turnovers. Then on defense, we talk about it. Much improved since last year. 16th in points, 11th in total yardage. Talk about 8th in rushing. Again, take these all with a grain of salt. You know that most teams are passing against these guys, but on the defensive side of the ball, they were 2nd in sacks, but 15 behind the Eagles. So we get 4.1 per game. 3.2 is what they average. Still a good defense, but, not many turnovers there, but a good defense. Not a defense that I think, a lot of people are sleeping on, but not as bad as, most people are making it out to be, but also not as good as some people. It's kind of funny that, hey, best of luck to you with your secondary and everything else going on. I know you got Chris Jones, Nick Bolton. I love that kid, but this is the Eagles offense. So, we'll find out. Now, they did pretty well so far, but they've had 2 very close games in this postseason. So take it, as you will with that high ankle sprain that, Patrick Mahomes was dealing with there. Take that all with a grain of salt. But look, they pulled off the wins. That's all that matters. Beat the Jaguars by a touchdown, but the Jags could have definitely won that game. Same goes for the Bengals. Stupid penalty. Who knows what could happen, but we're not here to play what if. But they snuck by both of those games where we demolished. So I've been hearing, that is an issue for the Eagles. They beat their team so badly that is going to be a problem going into the Super Bowl because they didn't have close games like the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't follow those kind of weird narratives. Being better than the other teams is a really good thing. I'm glad that we are better and played conservatively. I know a lot of the reporters you'll hear out there, well, the Eagles needed to throw for 350 yards last week to technically get the win. So they didn't really win, and they're not really in the Super Bowl if the teams can win. Like, the shit you're hearing out here is just like, bro, you guys are down bad, bro. I've never seen a bunch of sore losers. I guess this is a new day and age, but it's pitiful, bro. Like, it's pitiful. You got kickers out here now. Christian McCaffrey whining. You got Samuel Ayuk. You've got Jerry Jones high as hell. I mean, these people don't know anything about football. They just know how to whine, and it's pretty embarrassing, and I can't imagine the pain they're going to feel this Sunday. It's truly going to be beautiful. So let's take a look at this roster that I am so very, very confident in. And this offense, look, everybody's good to go. Offensive line, the weapons, I mean, it speaks for itself. We know this offense, and we know they are going to dominate. So you look at the pieces in green, those are new to the roster this year, as always. Then you see the same on defense. Look, we got our starters. We're ready to rock and roll. Levante's here. CJ's here. Let's go, baby. Number one passing defense. I can't stress that enough. We're built to take on someone like Patrick Mahomes. So let's go. Defense, now special teams. Both of those units, obviously we're going to need everyone to step it up, but hoping for some big things in the return game maybe for once. We know what Jake Elliott can do, but hoping not to have to see him. Talked about Sipos at Saturday, 4 o'clock. The Eagles have until then to activate him off of IR, and they could release Brett Kern, add him to the active roster, or you just bring him off the active roster and you have 2 punters, or if they want to bring Opeta, you can always elevate people. So I imagine you could have 2 punters on the roster. I know that would sound weird, but you can elevate 2 guys. So if you feel you need another lineman like Opeta or whatever, I don't think you do, because the guy who's on commissioner exempt list was inactive the past couple weeks anyway. So not real worried about it there. Now, the Chiefs depth chart you see here, we know they got rid of Tyreek Hill. So all the players in yellow there, those are the new pieces you see. With receivers, Cole Hardman on IR now, they've got all new receivers. And Juju, Justin Watson, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney. Maybe they bring up Marcus Kemp from the practice squad. We'll see what they do. But Pacheco, McKinnon, Edwards-Helaire was taken off IR. Are their running backs? They will use McKinnon in the pass game. We know this team is pretty good. Their offensive line pretty good. Much better interior against the pass than they are with their tackles, but still a good offensive line. On the defensive side of the ball, we talked about the talent there. Love Nick Bolton. They've got 2 rookie corners there, though. Justin Reed, a new addition at safety to replace Tyrann Mathieu, but it's a good defense. It is anywhere from like 12 to 15 for me. I think they're a good defense. They were second in sacks, but most teams are passing against the Chiefs. So, again, take those numbers with a grain of salt. Now, in the return game, Pacheco, Toney, we'll see how Toney is doing. He's dealing with an ankle and a hamstring issue, but he was at practice today. We'll see in what capacity. But look, if they don't have those guys, they will use Sky Moore. Talked about him the other day. Very, very talented. So now that you've seen both teams, you've seen how both of them have done this season, we're going to take a look at these top matchups. Let's go, baby. Hope you're ready to rock and roll. Appreciate you tuning in, G-Fish. Hope you're having yourself a great day. I'm going insane waiting for this damn matchup. So trying my best to provide you with as much content as I can. The NBA trade deadline provided a little bit of action last night and today, but that was over as quick as it started. The Sixers, Vanderbilt, it was McDaniels. I wanted Vanderbilt. They got McDaniels for Matisse Thybulle. So making big moves. We'll see some of the buyouts, what they do there, but trying to get by with anything I can. And we're going to get by right now with those top matchups. So let me know your thoughts on these. And if you got any questions, any comments, please feel free to leave them down below, whether you're watching this live right now or later. Always down to talk some birds. So let's jump into this, but we're going to start off with some honorable mentions. So you've got right now, and obviously I will break down their game when we get to them, but this is history right here. 2 black quarterbacks for the first time in NFL history will be starting in the Super Bowl. So that right there in itself, that had to be mentioned here. And in case you've missed it, obviously just wanted to throw that out there. But big storylines in this game, and that being a very big one. Up next, 2 brothers for the first time in NFL history will be playing each other in the Super Bowl. So, man, you've seen their podcast, you've seen their mom, their dad on. It's been truly great stuff. So, going to be an emotional game for them, I'm sure. But look, Jason, we don't know how much time he's got left. So, let's get that man another ring, please, for the love of God. Now, last but not least on the honorable mentions, Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni. So, you guys know when Andy Reid got fired, 14 years with the Eagles, he gets let go. He went to the Chiefs, and one of the guys that was on the staff still there was Nick Sirianni. Well, Andy Reid let him go. So, got a little bit of a narrative there. And you know, Nick Sirianni, he said, Reid had given him some wise words, and, it was not like it was anything bad, but hey, he still fired him. So, that only drove him to be a better man, a better coach. And look at him now as a head coach in the Super Bowl in his second year. Pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. So I'm pumped about it, and I cannot wait to see all of those honorable mentions there. But let's get into these matchups, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got some damn good ones, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. But here at number 12, we have the Chiefs wide receivers versus the Eagles corners. And I'll be real with you. This was really hard to sit here and come up with, which number I wanted to put what. But, dude, there is so much going on in this game that, well, I just broke it down how I saw fit. So you can give me your opinions however, you feel about this game, whatever it may be. But look, to me, it's still a very important matchup. I'm not saying just because it's 12, it's not important. But you've got some injuries to this room. Mecole Hardman was just placed on IR. So Juju Smith-Schuster and Kadarius Toney are dealing with injuries right now. So Toney will be up on that list. But right now, I just put him because he was on injury report. But he'll probably be playing. So you got Juju, MVS, Sky Moore, Justin Watson, Kadarius Toney. And then you've got Slay, Bradbury, and Maddox. And obviously one of the best secondaries in the game. We're going to be getting help from CJ Gardner-Johnson, Epps, all that great stuff. But Slay, Bradbury, and Maddox, that trio together, they can shut down anyone. You saw it with Justin Jefferson. You've seen it throughout the year. I am not afraid of Juju Smith-Schuster, MVS, any of these guys. For me, the Eagles will have that matchup locked down. And, they didn't even have a 1,000-yard receiver, but we know who their 1,000-yard receiver is, their tight end. But look, this secondary, time to shine, baby. So I want to see an interception from one of those guys. Now on to number 11, the running backs, Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon. And then the linebackers, TJ Edward, Kaiser White. Look, the entire team's going to have to stop these running backs. It's going to be all kinds of different schemes used to do that. But for matchup purposes, we're going with linebacker versus running back here. So Edwards, he has been huge this year. Love what this dude has been able to do. We just got to hope that he plays the top of his game. Somebody that had some issues this year was Kaiser White, but he really, really stepped things up. These guys have been good in coverage. So that's something we're going to need because Jerick McKinnon was the leading receiver as a running back, or number 4 with 9 touchdowns, or number 1 with 9 touchdowns, number 4 when it came to yards, I believe it was. But this dude, he's good with the ball in his hand. So they're going to find ways to get it to him. Isaiah Pacheco, though, that dude can pound the rock. As a 7th-round pick, it was quite a steal for them. And they are going to use both of these guys. Going to need the linebackers to step it up. And TJ Edwards, man, he had like 159 tackles this year. He is a stud. Going to need him big time as the leader of this defense to step it up. Now, our running back, Miles Sanders, along with his 1A to 1B, essentially in the playoffs here, Kenny Gainwell. And Kenny Gainwell has been tearing it up. First 100-yard game. Look, this dude, we talk about him all the time. He's really impressive. He can, catch the ball out of the backfield like they use McKinnon. We can do all kinds of things with Gainwell. So you're going to see a dose of both of those guys. Nick Bolton, Willie Gay are both going to have their hands full. And they're actually pretty good in coverage themselves. So same thing can be said as the opposite side of the ball. But you know it, Drew. I want to hear it. Run the damn ball. So we talk about, this Chiefs team. A lot of the teams, you're trying to pass to catch up, all this, that, the other thing. The Eagles don't have to do that. We are going to come out and we are going to dictate this game's pace. And we do that by running the damn ball. So please, for the love of God, do not make me have to say it over and over again. But we talked about their rush defense, 15th. It was like middle of the pack when it came to rush yards per attempt. Yards per game, it was like 8th. So look, take those numbers with a grain of salt, as always, but you got to run that damn ball right down their throats. And that is our bread and butter. We use that shotgun RPO all the time. So when you run the ball, that keeps the defense on their heels. Are they going to use Gay to spy? Are they going to have, to just trust in their defensive ends to keep containment? What will they do? You've got a lot of areas to cover here, but if the run game's going, that hurts them. Obviously, Jalen Hurts can kill you with his legs too, kill you with his arm. And we're going to get into that. But run that damn ball. That is the first. And I'm going to stress that. But in this show, I have to stress that. Run the damn ball. Yo, my man, I'm feeling damn good. Feeling a victory coming our way, a second Super Bowl. And dude, I'm going to lose my mind when it happens. I'm going to be real. I've been so effing emotional this whole week. I'll be screaming at random times. I wake up screaming. I cannot. I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack talking about it right now. And that NFC Championship game really kicked my ass physically, my throat, my everything I've been doing. And I know it's going to take everything out of me, and it is going to be well worth every second. But I appreciate you, my man. And look, I'm not leaving you guys. Once we win this Super Bowl, we're going to celebrate it. We're going to have Victory Monday. We're going to do all those great things. I'll bring you some live footage from the parade, all that. But then after that week, we're getting into it, man. We're going to jump right into explaining how the cap works, how the Eagles can create more cap space, how they can restructure some of these guys, extend people, bring people back, let people go, how much money you do save if you trade them, if you cut them, if it's before or after June 1st. I'm going to give you all the information you could ever need. And I appreciate whoever just tagged me a little bit ago because someone was like, oh, the Eagles can't sign Hurts to an extension and sign players. And they were like, whoa, I'd love to believe you. But let me go to the cap wizard. I was like, I appreciate you, dude. But yeah, we will be able to sign our players and sign other players that are free agents. Just like this year, they try to get everyone twisted. The Eagles can't sign anyone and they don't have cap space. Then I destroyed them by making videos explaining exactly how we would sign Hassan Reddick, James Bradbury, Kaiser White. So let them keep spinning whatever little narrative they need to. I'll keep destroying. So don't worry. This all season, we'll have some fun together. But back to what we were talking about. Appreciate you tuning in, Keon. But run the damn ball, please. And thank you. Now, we are into the top 10. Let me know how you're feeling so far about those other picks we had there. But let's jump into number 9 here. Dallas Goedert versus, and look, they're going to be using Gay. He's actually the best coverage linebacker. Well, he was at one point, I remember, in the season. He's been doing pretty damn well. So they're going to use him. They're going to be using all kinds of different schemes to try to stop it. They use a lot of too high safety. Reed and Thornhill will be responsible for a lot stopping Dallas Goedert here. And best of luck to you. Middle of the field, we will try to eat alive. And obviously, we're going to hope to run that ball, open things up, and we'll talk about the next batch of weapons here in a second. But Reed and Thornhill, they had their issues this year. And I think the past couple of weeks, they've gotten much better. They've actually seen Justin Reed at times in man coverage. I don't know how bold you feel if you want to have Justin Reed man covering Dallas Goedert, and, you have Juan Thornhill back there as your, free safety, essentially. We'll see how they try to stop them, but they're going to use a plethora of ways, obviously, to have to try to stop someone like Dallas Goedert, a focal point of this offense. But we have so many weapons that if you do try to then key on Miles Sanders and Dallas Goedert, well, that's going to leave open the Eagles' first ever 1,000-yard receivers in team history. 2 of them, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And we've talked about this secondary. Look, they are 18th in pass yards per game, but they gave up the most passing touchdowns. I believe it was 33 this season. So they've got two rookies there in Watson and McDuffie. Then you've got L'Jarius Sneed there, who just dealt with a concussion in the AFC Championship game. He is cleared, good to go, but they're going to have their work cut out for them. And look, I'd love to see Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal get involved there. I'm sure they'll have their chances. So excited about that. But I think Brown and Smith go out here and smoke their asses. They talk about how Jalen Hurts can't throw. They obviously haven't watched this entire season, and that's perfectly fine. I want them to be sleeping, but Jalen Hurts is going to go out here and throw for over at least 250 yards, and I can't wait to see it because A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are going to be the beneficiaries of that, along with Dallas Goedert. So best of luck to these young rookies. And look, Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie have definitely done better, I'll say, but it's not anything that I'm afraid of. I know AJ and Devontae can take on the best corners in the game, so definitely not afraid of these guys. And I know they'll use Joshua Williams and the rookie Brian Cook in there as well, too. But look, you're going to have to do everything in your power to stop those Eagles wide receivers. And A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, pick your boys. And I think they're both going to get a touchdown, but they could both go for over 100 yards. I'm being dead ass serious. And look, that's fine because we're going to run the ball, but you're going to have to pass the ball too to beat the Chiefs. But again, I think we can hold them to maybe even under 20 points. You can keep them around 20. We put up over 30. I think we could put up 40. I'm not even shitting you, man. This team, it's the real deal. And I think the world's about to be in for a pretty big shock when we smoke their favorite team. So, yeah, too bad for them. Yo, it is definitely going to be lit. Someone just tagged me the other day, and it was my cousin in my the photo she took of me, dude, and I'm just face first to the ground, and you don't see me crying because I'm bawling my eyes out, but my hair is just all, dude. Oh boy, I was a wreck. I was a wreck that morning at my dad's grave. I was a wreck the entire day, and then we won it. Holy shit, dude! I felt like I had been emotionally drained, and then the week after that, dude, waiting for what day the parade was going to be, and then I go to the parade, and that was just a journey in itself, and dude, it was awesome. I can't wait. I don't know what the second one's going to feel like. That first one, that's going to be special forever. I waited my entire life for that one. And, the second one in 5 years. And let this be the normal. Let this be something you're used to, because as I've been saying all year and since last year, we have put the foundation for a dynasty here. And, you're crazy. What do you do? Not so crazy, man. We're about to win the Super Bowl, and you're about to bear witness to the dynasty that I've been talking about it. So it's going to be very lit, my man, Dan Burrito. I appreciate you tuning in, dude. Yo, those whippersnappers, I don't know what they're talking about, but let them keep hating. We'll keep educating. Now let's keep this bad boy moving on to number 7 here on the block. You have yourself Chris Jones, the best defensive player they've got. Derek Nottie there in the middle. And then they're going up against Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, and Isaac Seumalo. This is going to be a battle of the heavyweights, man. So I'm really looking forward to it. You know how damn good our offensive line is in the interior. Jason Kelsey still killing it. And the PFF has him ranked number 2 center in the game. Creed Humphrey on the Chiefs apparently is number 1, but not buying it. Jason Kelsey, the best center in the game, and Dickerson and Seumalo. They are phenomenal young men, and hopeful that we sign Seumalo this offseason, re-sign. And then Dickerson, man, he has a very bright future for a long time here. But Chris Jones, man, he was a monster this year. I think he might have made the All-Pro. I know he's a Pro Bowler, but that dude, he means business. And he, by far, was their best defensive player. And look, thank God we have the guys we do, because, these boys wreak havoc. He had 15 and a half sacks this year. That's a lot, man, as an interior D lineman. So thank God we've got those guys. So that's going to be a very, very big matchup to watch. But I'm grateful we have the guys we do to shut them down. And they will line up Jones all over the place, just like Fletcher Cox. Spagnuolo will definitely try to move him around. But then on the outside of their defensive line, they've got Frank Clark and George Karlaftis. Now, Frank Clark has not been the player they were hoping for as they traded for. I think he had like 5 sacks this year. But Karlaftis tries to step it up. They've got Kalen Saunders, Mike Dana as backup. So they're going to try to use their pass rush. But you're dealing with Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata. Now, Mailata has had his issues this year, but he is vastly improved in this postseason. Been doing great. Hope that this team continues to play the way they do in this offensive line. I know that the Chiefs were second in the league in sacks. We talked about with 55. And, that's 15 behind the Eagles, though. So almost one less per game. That's pretty phenomenal by the Birds. And thank God we have one of the best offensive lines in the game. Lane Johnson still not giving up a sack. So that is going to be a battle of the heavyweights. And I'm pretty excited for it. But if you want to talk about the number one pass rush in the game, baby, I can't even fit all their effing names in here. That's right. You've got yourself Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Robert Quinn, Kyron Johnson, Patrick Johnson. Let's effing go, baby. So you know that the top rotation is really just Reddick, Sweat. Then you got Graham and Quinn coming in, Patrick Johnson every now and again. So look, those guys, they have been feasting. You know that Hassan Reddick has been effing phenomenal. Should be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I love me some Hassan Reddick. You guys know that was my number one priority this offseason. And my God, did he prove why. Those 16 sacks, and I think he's got like 3.5 in the postseason, have really shown this dude is the perfect Sam linebacker, which we had tried all offseason to explain what that was, what it meant to this defense. And I will never forget him retweeting that video of me explaining how he and Jordan Davis were the keys to this multiple scheme defense. And well, that meant the world to me. And Hassan, I cannot wait. I'm speaking it into existence to have you on the show one day soon. So, bro, proud of you. Go kick some ass. And honestly, going back to the team that drafted you, Arizona, into their stadium, imagine Hassan Reddick going out there getting 3 sacks, a forced fumble recovery, 2 tackles for a loss. Let's go. MVP. Could you imagine that? That might be enough, but Jalen Hurts might be putting up more. So it's going to be a battle between maybe a co-MVP between Jalen Hurts and Hassan Reddick. I would love to see it. Now, they have struggled on the outside. And, they're fourth. They were in the bottom 4, Orlando Brown and Wiley here, as it pertains to protecting against the pass. So they're not great against the pass, but Patrick Mahomes has made up for that. He is very elusive, gets his throws out quick. So that they try to make up for. But when you're going up against a historic pass rush like the Eagles, best of luck to you. Now, Andrew Wiley has been way worse than Orlando Brown Jr. I can't believe I'm talking about Orlando Brown Jr. Used to talk about his dad when I was a kid. Holy hell. But I think these guys are going to feast. And I think the Eagles could get up to 4 sacks here. And that'd be awesome, because we talked about the fact that they were 3rd in the league giving up sacks. And I think it was 1.5 per game. So it's going to be a tough task. And that's fine. I don't care. I really don't. Each week this team can do it. I don't care. We're the Philadelphia Eagles. We're the best team in the NFL, and you're about to bear witness. My man, Daniel, let's go. Nice to see you on a live video. Appreciate you, my man. Been seeing you liking and retweeting a lot of this stuff lately. Truly appreciate your support, my dude. Hope you're doing well. Trying to stay sane. I'm going effing insane, but trying to provide you guys with as much content as I possibly can. And I'll be back later with, it won't be live, but I'll drop an injury report for you with that news that you need to know for both teams. And then I'll be back at 8 o'clock over at Flipping the Birds. So go check that out. It's posted on all my social accounts, but I'll be live with those guys. And it was a great time last week. So looking forward to that. Tomorrow, I will have the trainer from the Bro Barn, Gabe Wrangle, on at 7 o'clock. So tune in for that. That's the guy that I had on before last offseason. You guys remember when I tried to get hurt season rolling, everybody on board, and people were like, nah, dog, we got to trade him for Jimmy G, Russell Wilson. And it was like, damn it. I think this time around, people should definitely tune in, because the things he was saying about Hurts, the things he was doing with Lane Johnson and the rest of the linemen, that was so telling as to why they were building that dynasty I was talking about. So that's where I became so confident. He taught us a lot about what goes on indoors. And look, building that friendship with him dude, it's been awesome. And he and the chef, Justin, big shout out to those guys. They've been nothing but helpful. And Gabe is the guy that brought me to the closed practice this offseason. So he gets to see it all. He hears it all more than any source or anybody's going to tell you. So it is definitely a pleasure having him as a friend, and I hope you guys will tune in tomorrow. That is going to be a great one. But can't see the team losing until, I don't even see it, dude. This past defense, this entire defense, everyone hates Gannon. I know they want to fire him, but I promise you after this game, they're going to love him and wish they never slandered him, because I'm telling you, that's what this defense was built for, to stop someone like Patrick Mahomes. So he's a Sooner, just like, yeah, no doubt. But makes me feel old, but he's about to get smoked here. I think he was ranked by PFF like 18th out of like, the 60 some tackles they did. And then Wiley was like, or I think it was like 80 some. And then Wiley was like 60 or something. He was not good at all. But like I said, Brown much better. Wiley, not so much. But as a whole, that offensive unit, the way Patrick Mahomes plays, they make it work. Because as I said, they only give up 1.5 sacks per game, right? So you got to take all their PFF numbers and all that stuff. I like that stuff. That's cool, analytics. But you also have to watch the game and understand how football works. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost. And it's like, well, these numbers say that it has to go like this. And it's like, man, if it worked like that, I'd be a millionaire. Trust me. But matter of fact, they need to start creating parlays where I can guess who we're going to draft, all that stuff, because we could really make some money 4 years in a row now here. But let's keep this train rolling. Let's get into this. Number 4 here. Talked about the edge rushers of the Eagles. Now let's talk about that interior D-line. And once again, I couldn't even fit all their names on here because this one's even longer. You've got Cox. You've got Hargrave. You've got Milton Williams and Jordan Davis as a young man. Then they brought in Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. So you've got 6 monsters right there who all have a different skill set that can help this defense in different situations. And that's what we talked about all year, built for a game like this. And their interior O-line is effing phenomenal, man. Thuney, Humphrey, and Smith, all 3 of them are in the top 3 at their positions, ranked by PFF. And I've talked about, I think it's Thuney is number 1 in guards and Smith is number 3. Humphrey is number 1 ranked by them. But again, take all that with a grain of salt. But that just goes to show how good they are. So, look, this is going to be a battle of the heavyweights. So this is why a lot of those skill positions were dropped down. These offensive and defensive line battles are going to be my favorite to watch. And I've been hearing the media, the Eagles, they don't know anything about the Chiefs O-line. And it's like, I don't think you know anything about the Chiefs O-line because, as I said, you're looking at numbers and saying, well, they only gave up 1.5 sacks per game. Well, they didn't play the Eagles. And as I told you, they have struggled with outside rushers giving up pressure. And I understand Patrick Mahomes can get the ball out quick. But our secondary, our linebackers, all those guys, they are very good at driving on the ball, causing turnovers. So best of luck to you when we disguise our defenses. That's what I've been trying to say all damn season. And I think people are about to bear witness to exactly what I have been saying. And now we're about to jump into this top 3 and probably guess who those top 3 players are that we're going to focus on. But I'd love to hear your playoff Gannon. Screw that, man. Regular season Gannon was nuts. And then, playoff backing it up. But he hasn't really had to do much, man. We just pounce on these teams. And it's crazy. I feel bad that most of the fans that, just are tuning in now or, were pissed, wanted to fire Gannon all season. It's like they missed such an incredible season. This is probably one of the most fun seasons and it's not just because I called everything that would happen in the offseason and called us making the Super Bowl. I truly felt the joy. And it was like, why does everyone hate this team? Why does everyone want to trade everyone, fire everyone? I didn't see it. And, it took until I think like the NFC Championship game, everyone was like, I'm actually an Eagles fan now. And I was like, bro, like you missed. Oh, not you, but I'm saying those people, it was like, did they not watch what was happening? Like, bro, I loved the dominance on offense and defense throughout this entire season. So I feel bad. Hopefully there's a DVD put out that they can, catch up and see this season because it's probably been one of the best in my 36 years of life. So the best defense I've ever seen. It was weird to see people like, you got to fire the best defensive coordinator we've ever had. And I grew up watching Jim Johnson and, he's the best we've ever had. But, when it comes to like numbers, Gannon blows all of them, Buddy Ryan, everyone out of the water. None of them even had close to the defenses that he had in his first 2 years. He was number 10 last year, and they finished the regular season number 3 this year. That's effing incredible, especially when you consider who we had last year, and they were number 10. It goes to show his scheme is phenomenal, and that's why we're in the Super Bowl. And, if you were listening to anybody who was talking slander on this defense, fire Gannon, I would probably rethink listening to them this offseason about anything they have to say because probably just riding with a lot of narratives, and that does not work out well for those people. Humphrey was getting pushed back a few times. Yeah, man, these guys will get beat by the Eagles. I don't give a damn what the media says, man, and it's cool. Their PFF stats and analytics say this. I'm telling you, you never played the Eagles, so best of luck to them. Keep sleeping on our birds. You're going to find out. Now, number 3. Let's jump into this top 3. Travis effing Kelce. We know who this dude is. And obviously he's their focal point. He had like over 1,300 effing yards receiving this year, 12 touchdowns. pretty phenomenal. He's done amazing in the postseason. We know. I think he just had like 14 catches, broke his own playoff record. That's pretty good. So, they will be focusing on getting him the ball. Now, we're going to be using Kaiser, White, TJ Edwards, our linebackers, even Avonte Maddox in there. And if he goes outside, Slay Bradbury. You know how this zone defense works. We broke it down since this offseason. It is built to stop guys like this. And look, CJ Gardner-Johnson, we've talked about in certain matchups, he can play some nickel. Well, this is one of those matchups where I think you're going to see Gardner-Johnson, especially in the red zone times, maybe lined up man-to-man with him with some help. You're going to have Epps with some responsibilities there too. But I think CJ Gardner-Johnson, most importantly, and, the safety position as a whole, has the biggest threat here in the middle with him. And again, we know the linebackers have some responsibility there too. But I think that's going to be the fun matchup to watch. And I'd love to see CJ snag that ball right in front of Travis. That would be phenomenal. So we all know we need to shut down Travis Kelce. We know that CJ Gardner-Johnson led the league in interceptions when he got hurt with 6. He ended the year leading the league, tied with 3 other people, but he still missed 5 games. And that's just shows you how incredible he was. So hoping for CJ to step it up in a big way. We're going to need him to. Obviously, number 2 on the list here, Patrick Mahomes against this Eagles defense. And look, this dude, 5,250 yards. It was like 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. We know this dude is the best passing quarterback in the game right now. And look, he is their focal point. We talked about taking away the run game, making them one-dimensional. They use out of the backfield. They're going to be dumping that ball off all of the time. They're going to be using bunch formations, guys in motion, all kinds of stuff. He is a very intelligent young man, and Andy Reid is a very smart coach. They are going to be doing so many things pre-snap just to make the defense try to, show what they're doing. Here's the great thing. Jonathan Gannon is really great at disguising his defense and making it look like man when it's zone. So many different things that we've talked about, and you're going to see a lot of quarters, halves. You're going to see a lot of the penny formations we talked about throughout this season. I know everybody wants to blitz every play. This would be the worst game to ever do that. So Seth Joyner, calm it down, man. We do not want to blitz every play. We actually want to continue to play exactly like we have the entire season. I don't think it's Gannon who should be fired. Just going to throw that out there. But, dude, the number 1 passing defense, passing yards per game, passing yards per completion, passing yards per attempt, number 1 in sacks. So, Patrick Mahomes, best of luck to you. I think we're going to be coming after you. And that's that 5-man rush. We don't need to blitz. And you talk about those 6 guys in coverage. Look, I am very confident in the, guys that we use here. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have himself a tough day. And look, he's still Patrick Mahomes. He's going to get his. But we talk about containment. Don't get upset if he starts the game, goes 10 for 10, throws for 32 yards, and they only get a field goal. That's a good thing. So, people are going to be yelling, fire Gannon if that happens. But just remember, we don't want them to score touchdowns. We want to be able to go down, drive on them, put up points every single drive. Their defense cannot stop us, but we can stop them. I don't want to hear any narratives. Patrick Mahomes dealing with his high ankle sprain. He's had weeks to heal. He's fine. I don't want to hear it. And it's going to have to be one of their excuses because Reddick, I see having a big day. I think he's going to get back there and demolish him. Now, let's get to number 1 on the list, and that's our number 1. That's right, him, Jalen Hurts. And my God, is this going to be fun to watch this young man in his 3rd season, 2nd as starter, going to the Super Bowl. You guys remember how tough they were on me? Don't you ever try to create a page dedicated to the Eagles teaching people about football. How dare you teach us that Jalen Hurts will develop into something special. And now they're all making hats and shirts and dancing around praising him. Ah, that's beauty. Now, Jalen Hurts, I can't stress enough how much of an MVP level he has played at. You hear he can't throw. He can only run. He has to pass. And I've heard so many stupid things that it's mind-boggling. It's like, are we back to the offseason where we listen to guys that have never played it down in their life or are kickers or are just butthurt because their team sucks? No one cares what those people have to say because clearly they don't know what they're talking about. Jalen Hurts is going to come out here. The MVP, he set the NFL record, 15 rushing touchdowns this season, 21 passing touchdowns. This dude, he is the MVP, and I can't stress it enough. This Chiefs defense to me, I don't think, obviously they're second in sacks, and we've talked about, we had struggled at times. Lane's back. I'm not worried about it, but man, Jalen Hurts is effing him, man. He's him. 3,700 passing yards this season. And when it came to the ground game, 760 rushing, he just gets it done. And, you hear analysts saying like, well, if a team wins while their quarterback has more rushing yards than the other team's running back, that's bad. You don't want to win games. It's like, are you guys that stupid? Like, are you really that? When you score touchdowns, it's good. However, you score those touchdowns, don't care. They might get offended that an offensive lineman catches a touchdown. Well, that wasn't my favorite receiver. That's okay. That's okay that they're offended. We just want to win the game. So they're going to get upset all game when we just smoke their asses. And it's going to be Jalen Hurts, the MVP, doing that with his legs, with his arms. And we talk about establishing that run. Run the damn ball. You do that with Miles, Kenny, and Jalen. Then you allow that passing game to open up for Goddard, AJ, Devontae. And I think it's going to be a tough time. I think we could see 400, 450 total yards of this offense just whooping their ass. And that's just how I feel about it. And I know some people aren't going to agree, and that's perfectly fine because they didn't agree with me this offseason. And that should tell you where we both stand. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I've got for you right now. Got a couple things to do. If that injury report ever comes out, I will record it, drop it for you, let you know what's going on there. But 8 o'clock tonight with my guys over at Flipping the Birds, I will be retweeting it, doing all that stuff so you can see it again. But tune in with all your questions and everything. Going to be throwing it down, but I got to get rolling out. If you enjoyed this show, do me a favor, hit that like button. Would love to hear your comments down below. Thank you for sharing this, retweeting, whatever you're doing. Truly, cannot thank you enough. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. All you new subscribers, welcome. Numbers have been popping up. Love to see it. Let's go Birds. But remember everyone freaked out after Nick's in the pressure? Yeah, that was embarrassing. You guys remember the videos I made? Like, man, these people are really going to regret talking trash on Nick Sirianni. Man, this hurt piece for all them goes back 2 years for me, man. If you guys go look at my videos, talked about the greatness of Nick Sirianni, Jonathan Gannon, Shane Steichen, and how we'd be in the Super Bowl next year. Remember when I said that last year? We would win it next year, and it would be a dynasty because we were going to build around Hurts. We were going to talk about in the offseason the people we'd add in the draft and the cap. Who did I tell you? Jordan Davis was going to get drafted, right? Hassan Reddick was going to get signed, and Kaiser White and James Bradbury. Oh, those things happened? Oh, yeah. So all those people offended by Nick Sirianni being passionate about the game, for all the people upset that Jalen Hurts is a black quarterback that's succeeding in this game, too bad for you. It's laughable to me. They are so butthurt that the Eagles are good, and there's just nothing they can do about it. So looking forward to it. Got to look out for the screen passes for sure. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning, Keon. That's going to be a big one. And Wrath of Kala backing you up here. Little old Drew. Where you at? Where you at? Run the damn ball. Can't stress it enough. Appreciate you tuning in, my dude. If you missed it, tomorrow I'll be back with a special guest, Gabe Rangel from the Bro Barn. You guys remember I had him on before last offseason, trying to get people on board with Hurts season, doing my best to show them this offensive line was the best in the game. I think people will be a little more receptive this time around. So let's effing go. I think we have a child in the chat. Hello, talk to me, or I'll leave. I'm actually going to help you with that. You are definitely going to leave. So thank you for that. I hope you're all having yourselves a great night, though. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out. But I'll be back at 8 o'clock. And look, if anything crazy happens, I will try to fit it in there. But as I said, it's going to be pure chaos the next few days. Hope you guys hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on, know when we're going live and talking some birds. And as you all know, I always respond to every single one of you, all of your questions in the chat. But what I don't do is have 5-year-old children tell me what to do 16 times in a row within 10 seconds. No, thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are all enjoying your night. Hope you're trying to stay as sane as you can, because I'm going insane waiting for this damn game. But that's all I've got for you tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you taking the time. Have yourselves a great rest of the night. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. Stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!